If you are applying to family medicine as an IMG, then you have probably considered the state of New York. New York is one of the largest states in the United States, and it's one of the most diverse, and they have a number of family medicine residency programs. However, it's really important if you're an IMG to consider targeting those programs that are considered the most IMG friendly. Now, certainly, if you have connections to other residency programs, you should consider applying to any where you have some connection, either with a current resident, with a former resident, or because you've worked in some capacity with that program. But if you don't have specific connections to a program, then you might want to consider looking at the most IMG friendly programs. And when we state that a program is IMG friendly, we're not just looking at the number of IMGs that they have in their residency program. We're also considering other metrics that may be applicable to your particular situation. So you may need to consider your USMLE score and whether this program has a minimum USMLE score, or perhaps they have a specific number of years since medical school graduation that they're considering. These are all factors that you need to take into account when you're choosing which residency programs to apply to. So with that, we're going to go ahead and go into the specifics, what we consider to be some of the top IMG-friendly family medicine residency programs in the state of New York.
So in this section, we're highlighting some of the most IMG-friendly programs in New York for family medicine. And we want to start with the Zucker School of Medicine at Hofstra, Northwell at Glen Cove Hospital program. And right off the bat, you can see that 91% of their residents are IMGs, a really high number. USMLE scores, they're asking for over 210. They are looking for med school graduation within the past 5 years. Now, nicely, they offer 2 types of visa, and they're not specific about U.S. clinical experience. Now, I will say, even though programs may not be specific about that, may not require a certain amount, it's always going to put you in a stronger position, because one of the things that programs really want to know is that you, from day one, are going to be able to show up at a residency program and be able to excel. So that U.S. clinical experience, some programs may not require it, but it's always going to be helpful to you. The other program we want to highlight is BronxCare Health System. 86% residents are IMGs. Now, they are looking for over the 80th percentile for your USMLE Step 1 and Step 2, no more than 2 attempts. So they are specifying that, although that's not too bad a requirement. They're not very specific about graduation cutoff or U.S. clinical experience, and they do offer 2 types of visa. So a program to consider in the Bronx. Next, St. Elizabeth Medical Center program in Utica. They are requiring a certain minimum score, 200, 220, but they are specifying that they prefer passage on the first attempt. 83% current IMGs. They do want U.S. clinical experience, and they are looking for graduation within the past 5 years. They don't offer any visas. So you can start to see how, depending on your requirements and qualifications, some of these programs may be a better fit for you than others. Next, SUNY Upstate Medical University program in Syracuse. 82% are IMGs. They're requiring that you have passed a passing score on Step 1 and Step 2. They do prefer that U.S. clinical experience. And if you graduated from med school a while ago, they're not specifying a preferred medical school graduation cutoff date. So that's nice if you have that longer time from graduation. Next, United Health Services Hospitals program in Johnson City. 81% IMGs. They're preferring scores of 220 and 230, and they want you to pass that on the first attempt. So if you have not passed it on the first attempt, this may not be the ideal program for you. Now, they prefer that you have graduated within the past 5 years, and if you have not, if your med school graduation is further away than that, you're going to need U.S. clinical experience to be able to document that. They do offer both types of visas, J1 and H1B. Next, the Mid-Hudson Family Medicine Residency Program, and this is in Kingston. 78% are IMGs. They are a little less selective in terms of Step 1 and Step 2. they do want to make sure that you have passed by at least your second attempt. And they are preferring that you have graduated med school within the past 5 years, and they offer a J1 visa. Another one to consider, Jamaica Hospital Medical Center, and this is the Albert Einstein College of Medicine program in Jamaica. Not as many IMGs, 40%. Now, in terms of step 1 and step 2, they prefer that you have passed by your second attempt. So if you did have initial failure, they might still consider you as long as you've passed by your second attempt. They do prefer a graduation date within the past 5 years, and they definitely prefer that in the past 2 years you've had active involvement in U.S. clinical experience, and they offer that J1 visa. Also wanted to highlight Stony Brook Medicine Southampton Hospital program. 71% IMGs, and they're preferring passage of your step by the second attempt. And they are preferring that you have graduated med school within the past 3 years. They offer a J1 visa. The University of Vermont Health Network in Plattsburgh, Champlain Valley Physicians Hospital program. Not as many IMGs, 35%, but wanted to include it. They do require a passing score on your step 1 and step 2, but they don't have minimum score requirements. They do, however, prefer that you have graduated med school within the past 2 years. So this is more for recent graduates, and they offer that J1 visa. And then SUNY Health Science Center at Brooklyn. They have 69% are IMGs, and they do have a minimum cutoff score of 216 for your step 1. They're not requiring step 2. They are offering 2 types of visas, J1 and H1B, and they're not specific about the amount of U.S. clinical experience or the number of years since med school graduation. So another program to consider. So that rounds up our top 10 of family medicine programs in the state of New York. And from all of us here at MD2B Connect, we wish you the best of luck.